Pezik here. So glad that you are tuning in to another episode of the Lisa Pezik Show, being shot here in my home in the middle of like crazy town. In the middle of this pandemic, I swear it's like my 6-year-old is bouncing off the walls. The cats, we got 2 kittens that are behind me that are just chasing each other and flying all over the creation. And it's been wild. It's been wild. But you know what? When you have a mission, when you have a message, you show up and you make it work and you take no excuses. And that is what I'm doing here. So my lovely husband, Eric, just took Oliver, our 6-year-old, out back to kick around a soccer ball so I could have some dialed in focused time to shoot this podcast. Do you have help in this time of pandemic? If you are a non-essential worker or you are an essential worker, do you have people helping you? If you don't have it, don't be afraid to ask for what you need. Because in this time is where we need to be helpers. If you are okay, you are good, you need to be lending a hand to help someone else who isn't, who needs food, who needs groceries, who needs something, who needs sanity, who needs a break, who needs a phone call, right? Conversations aren't canceled. I know I talked about that in my last podcast. So get help. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Eric taking our little man so that I could do this. And when my husband had calls, I took little man. We're like tag teaming it. And that's how we are still getting the essential things done in our business. That's what I want to talk about today. You might not be an essential worker, meaning that you're not working on the front lines of a needed service, but your business, if it aids in the sanity, the health, the mental health, the physical health, the financial health of the world, you got to keep contributing. You got to keep putting out that message and that mission. And the world needs you right now. The world needs us to come together and support each other. And contribution and service are the 2 big words that come out for me when I think about what does the world need right now. And I know I saw on social media a few people had posted a quote from Mr. Rogers, and it said, whenever there's a time of stress or pandemic, or I don't remember the exact wording of what he was saying, but a time like this, look for the helpers. Look for the helpers. That's what I want you to be. Now, normally I would never want you to use the word help in business as a content marketer, talking about your messaging. I personally don't like the word help because I feel like help equals free. So I like to tell my clients to say, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to coach you, I'm going to teach you, because usually help implies free, guide, mentor, usually is I'm going to hire you. But right now, helping is what the world needs. I'm not saying don't get paid. I'm saying go about it a different way. And if we think about who is helping and getting paid as an online business owner, even if you are non-essential, how you make yourself essential is by 2 things, 2 other E's: being in the entertainment business or being in the education business. And good news, if you're an online entrepreneur, you have entertainment and education already built into what you do. You might just not be seeing it. This is the time to pivot and look at it through a different lens if you're not already doing it. I've been doing this for years, and it was the thing that clicked that allowed me to grow a community, to grow a following, to nurture them and nurture relationships to buy through education and entertainment. So what am I talking about? Well, simply education is that education based marketing, meaning if you want to sell something to someone somewhere along the way, you need to help first. You need to earn the right to sell. And that's by giving education, teaching. Give before you receive. Give before you ask. Give them tips. What are people struggling with right now? They're struggling with their health. Everybody's eating all the COVID pandemic snacks, right? They're struggling with their mind, their mindset. A lot of people are going insane. A lot of people are going stir crazy. A lot of people are stressed and overwhelmed. They are struggling with productivity. How do we make this all fit? I talked about that tag teaming earlier. They are struggling with a lot of the things that you have answers for in what you do in your business. Become a teacher, become an educator, go live every day and just start inspiring a conversation. That was our son's homework today when he had to do something different. He had to log on to the online homeschooling. Well, he didn't have to log on. He's 6. We logged him on and sat down, and it was all about discussions. So instead of just going in and taking a picture and us uploading it and uploading his homework or writing something, typing something in, it was almost like a Facebook thread or like an Instagram thread. They had to read a story and start a discussion about it and then comment on other classmates what they wrote about it and solve a problem, a math problem, and tell people why they solved it that way and start a discussion. That's what I want you to do with your education-based marketing. That's what I want you to start doing on your social media platforms. That's what I want you to start doing if you have a webinar platform. A master class is what we're now calling webinars these days. Call it whatever you want, but get on there and start teaching people. Look for the helpers, because the helpers right now that are educating and solving problems and providing quick wins for people, they are the ones that are going to be top of mind when this pandemic is over and it's long forgotten about and life is back to normal and people are starting to do business again. I mean, people still are doing business, but people are starting that active search again. And I know in my courses, I share this pyramid that talks about, in the sales psychology, the percentage of people in a day that wake up ready to buy something. And normally that's around 3% on a good day with no pandemic. And it means that they're like, I need to buy a gym membership today. Let me go search that out. I need new running shoes today. Let me go search that out. I finally need to hire that high performance coach, or I finally need to build that course. Let me go find that person. 3%. It's probably 3% on a good day. Could you imagine what the statistic is now in the middle of job losses and client losses and the rug kind of being pulled out from under people and that uncertainty? It's probably 2% or 1% if I had to guess, or maybe even less than that. I don't know. I shouldn't guess about things I don't know about. But what I'm saying is you want to be top of mind for when that 3% is up and active again and they are looking for you. And usually if they're not in that 3%, what is that? That next bracket around 20% are people that get moved by something. They get moved by a story that you tell when you're teaching and educating, when you're live. They get moved by a story. The emotion moves them to buy, even when maybe they weren't in that 3% because the doubt was in their head, or they were worried about money, or they've got money mindset issues, or whatever it is. You bump them into that 3% and they buy. Education is the way to go. If you weren't doing it before, now is an amazing time to do it. And then next is the entertainment piece. I mean, TikTok. I've been avoiding that platform like the plague because I'm just like, I already have a VA who's lovely and she helps me manage my Instagram and social media. And, you know, you got to stay in your zone of genius and stay in your lane once you grow and get people to help you. So I'm like, man. But yesterday I was scoping it out, right? Because I got like more time on my hands to really plan and think about my business. And oh man, did I go down the rabbit hole of TikTok. I was watching hilarious videos and I'm like, oh my God. Again, if you turn it into a business, account like Instagram, you can get analytics. And Gary Vee is talking about TikTok. And I'm like, I will admit, I'm behind the eight ball. There are people on TikTok. Chalene Johnson's using it for business and crushing it. Lots of people are crushing it in business. But because it's entertainment. Think about Netflix. Oh, look at that. I just noticed I got some kale or spinach. Podcast listeners, you can't see it, but I see it on the screen. YouTube people, I got some spinach in my teeth. Apologizing if you see that. As I said, I was keeping it real today. What was I talking about? Tiger King. That's what I was talking about. On Netflix. Why do we love that? It's a train wreck. I loved it because it was great storytelling. I got behind the way they scripted. I mean, come on, we know it's scripted, right? The way they scripted the characters and the way they told the story. But some days it was just pure insane entertainment. No, I don't agree with what happened to the animals. No, I don't support those kinds of things. You have your own beliefs about that, as do I. But from a purely entertainment standpoint, that is why we love the shows we love on Netflix. Whether it's those feelings, those emotions, we want to be scared, we want to laugh, we want to watch train wrecks, like whatever. There's dating shows on there. Again, we don't watch a lot of TV, but we have been a little bit at night, because we've been working hard, right? So we've been allowing our brains some mindless time, which sometimes distractions are good for your creativity. But again, I'm looking at it not necessarily as distraction, but as like market research. And I'm looking at the education piece of it and the entertainment piece of it and the storytelling piece of it. So even if you are a non-essential business person, you keep your business afloat through entertainment and education. Now, you're probably going, how do I do that? Where do I start? Well, if we're thinking about education-based marketing, another word that gets thrown around a lot is authenticity. I was in a best-selling book about the beauty of authenticity. We all want it, but how do we get it? What does it mean? Authenticity is about staying true to you, your story, your likes, your dislikes, your messages, your faith, your whatever it is that means something to you, and fully and wholly sharing that. Not attached to the outcome, not judging anybody else, not being a little bit bulletproof about the judgment that maybe comes your way, because you aren't everybody's cup of tea, and that is a good thing. So authenticity when you're educating is, don't think, ooh, someone told me I was really good at that, I should go teach that, or I should go create a program around that, or that's the tip. Someone else shared this tip and that was really cool, I'm gonna now go share that. Now, ideas are universal, but your take on it is your own. And that's authenticity. Things like high performance and productivity and time management and funnels and online courses and sales psychology and money mindset. And, they're all ideas and concepts that are shared, but the way you teach it, the stories that you tell with it are your own. So that's where you start. And that's probably one of the number one, gaps that I think, or traps that we fall into, is we try to be someone else. Now more than ever in this pandemic, have you been gifted the time to find yourself? Longer on the mat in yoga, longer with that meditation, longer with that walk outside while we still can. Some places in the world, depending on where you are, you might not be able to even go out and do that, right? Military drones and quarantine is happening. Now is the time, when you still have it, to find yourself in the capacity that suits you. And it's going to be uncomfortable. But if you've never taken that time to really know who you are, then your message is probably falling flat. If you never take that time to figure out that clarity and that internal knowing of what matters to you, your message isn't going to connect, because you've been doing it like someone else does it. You've been telling it like someone else is telling it. You've been caring about things that other people care about that you don't really care about. you've been building things that you don't really want to build, and you just haven't been honest with yourself about it. Now is the time to get honest and get real with yourself. So authenticity is where you start. And then the entertainment piece is just in that authority that you have. Meaning, again, what path have you blazed? What experiences have you had? What lenses have you seen the world through? So entertainment-wise, I will share a lot of things as a mom, as a now homeschooling mom. Oh my God, as a stay-at-home mom, I bow down to you. But again, to be fair, I'm not just stay-at-home mom in it and homeschooling it. We're trying to work while we're doing all of this. So I get it. I get it when you're trying to manage 100 different things at home. Right. But I talk through the lens of a mom, because I am a mom. I talk through the lens of a homeschooling mom. I talk through the lens of a nurse. I was an RN before in the ICU before I became a fitness and nutrition specialist and before I became a business strategist. And there's been a lot of lenses and roles and experience and authority that I've built along the way. I studied under Brenda Burchard and Bo Eason and Roger Love and Mel Abraham and Marie Forleo, right? I've picked up bits and pieces from them that I know my stuff. When you have the authority built and you know yourself, like we talked about, well, then how are you going to share that in an engaging, fun, funny way? Because again, you remember good teachers and you remember bad teachers. And if you're getting up there telling good stories, cracking jokes, being you or whatever you is, maybe if you're not telling story, well, you should be telling stories. But if you're not cracking jokes, you're telling thoughtful, insightful stories from whatever lens you've had in the past. That's true to you. That's what matters to you. That is you. That is the best of you. Look for the helpers. You're helping by your authority, your lens, but you're also helping by sharing it in a different way. That's why we love TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram stories and all of that, right? Even the little funky filters we can put on things, just something to change it up. That you're not sharing the same message, the same stuff in the same way. You are human. There are many parts of you, and we want to see that. Think about any of the magazines that you read, the different columns that they have, the different spreads they have. There's strategy behind how something is presented to keep your attention. That's exactly what you got to be doing in when you share it, in the entertainment piece of what you're doing. Get creative. Guess what? Now you've been gifted time to get creative and try something different. And again, I know what you're saying. What if I screw it all up? What if I don't know what I'm doing? Nope, none of us really know what we're doing, do we? We just dive in and we go. That was this podcast. The very first time that I ever, got this out. I shot the first 20 or 30 episodes with no mic. And peers were like, Pezik, your content is amazing, but the sound quality really sucks. What kind of audio are you using? And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just talking into Zoom. And they're like, no, Pezik, you got to get better audio. So I did. Bought the good old mic that if you're on YouTube, you can see it. Podcast listeners, I'm holding up my Yeti mic. Right? I got good quality. My lighting used to suck. Today I'm blessed with the beautiful sunlight, so I don't need the ring light on me, but I got a ring light. I didn't have a nice intro, outro to go on the podcast. Asked around, asked my peers, where do you get your intro, outro from? I got everything from quotes from $100 to $1,500. Look for the helpers. When you don't know, ask. When you don't know, hire. There are experts that can help you do it. Worst case scenario, press play and go, and people will help you. They will just volunteer and tell you, hey, you need this. This is what I do. Go talk to this person. We get behind action. And you've been gifted that time to find yourself with authenticity, to speak about the different lenses that you've had with authority, and to get creative with a bit of entertainment. So that's a challenge that I have for you when you've been gifted this time, because, you know, we don't know how long this is going to go on for. That's reality, right? I don't say that. I don't have any fear. I don't have any worry. I know I'm safe, right? I think that's a real gut check. Are we safe? Yes. Are we sane? Yes. Can we be helping? Can we be contributing? Yes, that is what your job is to do right now, online business owner. And we don't know how long this is going to go on for. You know, when I was a nurse in palliative care, end of life care, it was never the dying that people feared. It was, I don't want to suffer. How long is this going to go on for? Promise me that my life won't be prolonged. Right? When family members were at the bedside, it was how much longer is this going to go on like this for? They didn't want, I mean, we did our best to give people the most comfortable, beautiful death. That is what palliative care, end of life care is. But even just in that really uncomfortable space of feeling like things are lingering or taking longer or not knowing, the not knowing part is the part that people really struggle with. And I think that's where we're at right now. We're going insane because we don't have sanity, certainty. The only thing you can be clear about in terms of sanity and certainty is to know yourself, know your authenticity, know your authority, and get out and share that into the world. So hit me up, Lisa@lisapezik.com. Send me your handles. Send me what you're working on. Let me see. Let me help. Let me be that person that goes, hey, your audio sucks, or hey, you should say this a different way, or hey, have you ever thought about this? I would love to hop on a 15-minute call with you and just guide you through and teach you how to do something different so you can get something different and better. Or you can maximize what you already got. That's amazing. Lisa@lisapezik.com. Shoot me an email. Where you at? Know that I'm a helper. Know that I'm in your corner. Know that I got you. And know that it's all going to be okay. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on the Lisa Pezik Show.